guys, it's Sonduren from Canadian Rider. Today we're going to be doing a video on how to wash and wax your motorcycle. So the first thing you're going to want to do is bring the motorcycle inside if possible or into the shade and gather the supplies you'll need. So you'll need 2 buckets, car shampoo, tire and rim cleaner, wax, an assortment of microfiber towels, and a bunch of different brushes. The very first thing we're going to do is rinse the motorcycle. Depending on how heavily soiled your motorcycle is, you can use a pressure washer. I had a pressure washer, so I'm going to use that. And if you have one of those foam guns, go ahead and give it a good foam down because it's going to help break down the dirt that's actually on the paint. Now it helps if you have a pressure washer because it's going to be a little bit of nice stream of pressure coming in, which will also help get rid of that initial layer of dirt on top of the paint. So that's the biggest thing we want to worry about in this step, is making sure that we're working on a fresh canvas. We want to remove as much dirt and grime as possible on the bike before we do any touching of the paint. So using my pressure washer, I put a lot of soap on the motorcycle and now I'm going to be rinsing it all off, and this should have knocked off a lot of the grit and grime that's been stuck on the motorcycle. So the first thing you're going to want to address on the motorcycle are your tires and rims, usually because they're the most dirty. So the first thing I do is I go ahead and soak the tire and the rim with the rim cleaner that I have. Now you can pick up any car conventional rim cleaner. And then I go ahead and use a specific brush for these tires. They're a little bit stiffer, and I'm going ahead and I'm rubbing down on the tires and scrubbing away all the dirt and grime with the tire and rim cleaner to really break it down. And then right after that, I'm going to use another brush for the rims. So I'm going to go ahead and scrub the rims with this brush, get all that grime off. And then finally, I have another brush, which I use to get inside of the spokes between the rims. Now you could probably just use one brush, you don't need all 3 like I do, but I go ahead and make sure I got all the areas of the rim and it's all being agitated nicely. And another key thing is, especially if it's hot, you want to keep the area wet. So you can see I spray a little bit more product on there and keeping the area wet. This is just a safer practice in case you have any bad chemical reaction from the rim cleaner to your rims or anything like that. So I keep it all wet and we're scrubbing away and cleaning it all off. So now for the little areas around the rims and tires, specifically the shocks and the calipers, I use a softer paint brush actually, and there are other more specialized brushes for this, but you want to go ahead and start agitating the dirt from all these small areas. So something like a nice small little brush, and you're working it in with the tire and rim cleaner and just working out all the grime and dirt. And once that's all done, you can go ahead and rinse off the entire assembly of the shocks, the tires, and the rims. So now we're going to begin washing the motorcycle. The first thing you're going to do is get 2 buckets. One is your wash bucket, which has your water and soap solution, and the other one is your rinse bucket, which is simply the rinse solution or the water. Now I use a microfiber Chanel mitt. You can use whatever mitts you'd like, but I prefer something like this. And under each bucket or inside each bucket, I have what they call a grit guard. So this is just a little piece of plastic that goes at the very bottom of the bucket, and you're able to scrub your microfiber mitt onto that, and all the dirt falls below inside at the bottom of the bucket, so it's not back up into your water when you're washing your motorcycle. So to start washing a motorcycle, you're going to take your mitt, put it in the water and soap solution, and go ahead and do one section like I'm doing right now. Once that section's done, you're going to take that mitt, put it into the rinse bucket, and in the rinse bucket you're going to have that grit guard that we talked about. You're going to rub the mitt on that grit guard to release all the dirt that's been built up there to the bottom of the bucket. Once that's done, you're going to take it out, put it back into the soapy water solution that you have, and continue on to the next panel. And you're just going to continue this for the rest of the motorcycle. So the reason why we do a 2-bucket method when you're washing your motorcycle or any car, especially with a clear coat, is that you don't want the dirt and the grit to be rubbing back into your paint. This causes a lot of the swirl marks and scratches that you see affecting a lot of motorcycles and cars. So this will help prevent that. So with a motorcycle, you're going to have a lot of areas where you can't actually access with the wash mitt to give it a good and nice wash. So you're going to have a little brush, which you can apply some all-purpose cleaner to the area and go ahead and scrub all the dirt and grime away. Once that's done, you go ahead and just rinse it with some water and you're good to go. So once you've done washing the motorcycle, you want to make sure you give it one good final rinse to get any possible soap or anything that's left on the paint. So to dry your motorcycle, you can go ahead and just use a waffle weave towel or any microfiber towel. But for me personally, I kind of got annoyed with, drying all the nooks and crannies of the bike. I went ahead and bought some cheap small air blower, and that makes drying the bike actually a lot faster. But either way, you just want to make sure you get the bike nice and dry at this point. You've washed your motorcycle and you've dried it, and now you're at the final step where you're going to add that layer of protection that wax can provide. So wax not only adds protection, it makes it easier to wash your motorcycle in the future, and it provides the extra depth and clarity onto the paint. So when you're applying the wax, guys, you're going to want to make sure you use as little wax as possible. Putting extra wax on your fairing isn't going to protect it any more than putting a small amount, because you're gonna end up buffing all that anyway, and it's gonna make it harder for you. Wax usually stays on 10 microns on top of your paint, so no matter how much wax you're gonna put on, it's just gonna be extra work for you and it's not gonna show any benefit. So use a little as possible, and you'll know you're getting coverage if you see a slight haze over the paint. That's all that's needed, and you make sure you get all the fairings covered in that. Every wax or sealant has a different dry time. What you can do to test this, to know if it's dry, I've waited a half an hour in this case, is to take your finger and go ahead and wipe the paint. If you see a clean wipe across, that means you know the wax is dried and you can go ahead and begin buffing it off. Final step, guys, is you're gonna go ahead and use a clean microfiber towel. I reiterate the point clean because you don't want to take a dirty one and then ruin all the work that you did, and go ahead and buff off the wax. Once that's done, go ahead, bring it out into the sun, check it out, make sure you got all the wax buffed off properly off the fairings, and that's basically it. So I've taken some shots here, you can see how it looks. That's basically how you wash and wax your motorcycle, guys. So if you like this video, like it. If you dislike this video, dislike it. Please subscribe to my channel, guys. I want to say thank you to all my current subscribers. It's really great seeing that you guys are enjoying the content, and I'm looking forward to posting a whole new bunch of content coming up. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys in my next video.